Good morning, grade 6 learners. I'm glad that you're here, and I know that you're all excited to learn more about the things around us. I'm Sir Leslie from Apollonia F. Rafael Elementary School, your FB Live teacher today, and welcome to another Science Terrific episode here in Valenzuela FB Live. Are you ready for today's lesson? You already know what to do. Upon joining our live session, you need to comment your full name and the name of your respective school. This is for me to acknowledge your attendance for this day. If you want to ask some questions related to our topic for today, or you want to participate in our discussion, you may type it in our comment box below. And please prepare your science module, notebook, and ballpen for taking down some important ideas. Our today's lesson is based on the most essential learning competencies in Science 6, classification of mixtures, colloids. And at the end of our lesson, learners should be able to identify the different types of colloids, identify the common household colloids and their uses. We learned quite a bit different about the kinds of mixtures. For example, we've learned about homogeneous mixtures or uniform mixtures, that the solution or other substances disperse evenly in water or some other solvents to form a solution. We have also seen some heterogeneous mixtures where the components are easily distinguished, just like oil and water, or pebbles and rice. Last lesson, we talked about suspension. Suspension is a heterogeneous mixture composed of large particles that are visible to the naked eye. These substances do not dissolve completely in solvents, and the particles that do not dissolve settle down at the bottom. But in reality is that there are other types of mixtures that do not fall strictly into one of these, but rather fall in between. So let's find out what this could be. We can also create mixture that is in between a suspension and a homogeneous solution. This will usually form because the particle size of it is smaller than the particle size of a suspension and bigger than the particle size of a solution. It is called colloids. Colloid is a mixture with particles evenly scattered in dispersing medium without settling down. For us to easily understand the colloids, let's watch this activity. We will need the following materials for our activity. 2 cups labeled with mixture A and B, water, spoon for stirring, eggs, salt, powdered milk, sugar, and oil. Alright, let's start.
Place two drinking glasses side by side. Label the two glasses with mixture A and B. Fill half of each glass with water. In glass labeled as mixture A, put 1 tablespoon of milk. Stir it and set aside. So this is a mixture A. While in glass labeled in mixture B, let us put 1 tablespoon of salt. Stir it and set aside. This is mixture B. And now, let us use our laser and observe if the light will pass through the mixture A and B. Let's try another example. Again, place two drinking glasses side by side. Label the two glasses with mixture C and D. So fill half of each glass with water. In a glass labeled as mixture C, let us mix together 1 tablespoon of oil and an egg yolk. This is mixture C. Stir it and set aside. While in a glass labeled mixture D, let us put 1 tablespoon of sugar, stir it, and set aside. This is mixture C and D. And now, let us again use our laser and observe if the light will pass through the mixture C and D.
What did you observe in our activity? In sample number 1, we have the mixture A, which is the combination of milk and water. And mixture B is the combination of sugar and water. As we observe, the light that passed through in the mixture B is not visible, while in mixture A, the light is scattered. Same with the sample number 2. The light beam is scattered in mixture C. And therefore, we can say that mixture A and C is an example of colloids. and mixture B and D are solutions. And this scattering of light that we saw a while ago in our colloids is called the Tyndall effect. Tyndall effect is seen as a beam of light in colloids because there is scattering of light when light beams pass through it due to the dispersed particles which absorb, reflect, and scatter of light. And did you know that Tyndall effect by John Tyndall is a property of colloid? Again, colloid is a mixture with particles evenly scattered in a dispersing medium without settling down. Colloids has 5 types. We have sol, emulsion, aerosols, foams, and gels. In sol, it is a solid dispersed in either solid or a liquid. Example of it are blood, paints, gum, and muddy water. While in emulsion is a liquid dispersed in either liquid or solid. Example of emulsions are milk, cod liver oil, butter, mayonnaise, and creams. Now, in aerosols are suspensions of liquid or solid particles. Clouds and fogs are natural aerosols. Dusty air and smoke are aerosols too. Insecticides, perfume spray, spray paint are artificial aerosols. Foams are colloids which consist of gas dispersed in liquid or solid. Example of foams are whipped cream, soap lather, or liquid foams. While styrofoam, pumice, yeast bread, and cake icing are solid foams. Lastly, the gels are colloids which consist of liquid dispersed in solid. We have the gelatin dessert, silica gel, which placed in a small packages or in packets of medicines to keep them dry. The different examples of colloids mentioned are important in our daily lives. Natural colloids such as blood, fog, and clouds are basic of living things. Man-made colloids are also useful. Numerous colloids such as milk, butter, gelatin, jam, jelly, and other creamy substances such as mayonnaise and whipped cream are used as food or ingredients for preparing food. Some colloids, such as magnesium hydroxide, creams, and ointments are used as medicines and cosmetics. While the paints have both protective and decorative functions. Styrofoam, inks, and white glues are used in offices and printing press. And insecticides are used in farming. All right, good job, grade 6 learners. If you enjoyed our discussion, just click the like or heart button below. For us to test our understanding about the different types of colloids and its uses, we have here an activity. Let us identify the following colloids. You just simply type your answer in the comment box if what type of colloid is in the picture. Let's start. For our question number 1 or picture number 1. Is it a sol or a foam? Comment down your answer. All right. The correct answer is sol. Very good. Blood is an example of a sol. How about in picture number 2? Is it an example of a gel or an aerosol? Comment down your answer. Okay. In picture number 2, the correct answer is insecticides is an example of aerosols. Let's try number 3. Picture number 3. Is it an emulsion or a sol? Comment down your answer. Okay, the correct answer is emulsion. You did a great job, grade 6 learners. I'm glad that you learned a lot today. We will now accept some questions related to our topic in our hashtag Ask Your Science Teacher time. So what are you waiting for? Comment down your questions. All right. So we have one question from our viewer. He asked that, Sir, can you differentiate colloids from a suspension? Very good question. Suspension and colloids are heterogeneous mixture. A suspension is identifiable because its particles are large and settle out in a dispersing medium to the effects of gravity. The dispersed particles of colloid are intermediate in size between those of a solution and suspension. Another question. Sir, is clouds and fogs really colloids? Yes, it is. When the dispersion medium is gas, the dispersed space can be solid or liquid, but not gas. Colloids of gas which with dispersed space as solid or liquids are called aerosols. So, fog is an example of an aerosol particles. Thus, clouds or fog is a colloidal system in which the dispersed space is liquid and the dispersed medium is gas. Oops, sorry, we don't have enough time to answer all your questions today. But I know that your science teachers in your school will help you with this. So don't forget to attend your virtual class tomorrow. But before we end our discussion, let us sum up the important points in our lesson. And remember the following. Colloids is a mixture with particles evenly scattered in a dispersing medium. without settling down. Sol, emulsion, aerosols, foams, and gels are the types of colloids. Colloids are used in farming, medicine, cosmetics, personal hygiene, food ingredients, cleaning agent, and for beautification. And for our homework, answer the activities on your module in science on page 18. Again, answer the activities on your module in science in page 18. Before we end, let me leave you this quotation. The word is indeed a mixture of truth and belief. Discard the make-believe and take the truth. By Rama Krishna. Thank you for listening. Again, I'm Sir Leslie. See you again next week for another Science Terrific episode here in Valenzuela FB Live.